Right, in one of my last machining videos I showed how I made a brass fire piston on the Chinese mini lathe, and since then I've bought some acrylic tube and made a clear one. And I made this today. It's an experimental fire piston so that you can actually see the ignition inside when it actually goes off. I got the acrylic tube on eBay. It's 14mm in diameter and 10mm bore, smooth all the way through, easy to cut. It's got higher impact resistance than glass, so it's ideal for this type of thing. And having those dimensions, it's got really nice wall thickness of about 2mm. So again, I made this one on the Chinese mini lathe, and it's exactly the same process as making the brass ones that I showed in my previous videos. The only difference on this one is that I've made a different handle out of solid brass, and I've put some collars on each end of the acrylic to strengthen it. What I did was push this assembly up into the acrylic tubing with Loctite 638, so it sealed it on the inside of the acrylic tube. Then I made another collar which slips down over the outside of the acrylic tube, and that goes on with Loctite 638, so the acrylic tube is effectively sandwiched between two pieces of brass and locked up with that Loctite 638. And on this end here I put another collar to cover the open acrylic, and that's been put on with Loctite 638 and obviously bored out so the piston can go straight through that one. So if you make these out of anything other than brass tubing, if you actually cover the ends with a nice brass collar like that, it makes it look so much more professional, even if you make them out of wood. And on the handle I put some decorative grooves up the radius here, plus they also act as a grip for actually pulling the piston out of the assembly. And that's one thing that I really like doing when I'm actually making stuff. I not only want the item to be functional and useful or whatever, I actually like to put some effort into making things look really nice. And I actually like looking at the stuff that was actually made in the Victorian era. When they made tools, sewing machines, or anything really, they put as much effort into the decoration or the decorative work on the things they were making as the actual tools or whatever they were producing. So now I'm going to give this one a test. So I'm going to put a piece of char cloth in the end here. So I put my piece of dry char cloth in the end of the piston there like that, and it shouldn't fall out because it has the same lip on the end that I showed how to make on the other one. And I'll turn the floodlights off so you can see the flash. So that's my clear acrylic fire piston experiment completed, and just before I go I'd just like to show you this really nice item that I've just bought. In fact, I bought two of these because I liked them so much. It's a stainless steel torch and it's called the Astrolux K1 XPG3. It has a 500 milliamp rechargeable lithium ion battery and it's USB charging on the side here. There's a key ring or a loop there for putting onto a key ring or a lanyard. I put mine on a lanyard because I like to keep mine around my neck all the time. And the actual torch is absolutely solid. It's got unbelievable brightness in its light. It has a blue light or an ultraviolet light, a red light, and then a 350 lumen main beam. And although it's made of really heavy duty stainless steel, you can actually buy it in a variety of colours. This one isn't charged at the moment, so I'll show you my other one. And that's a really nice colour effect on that one. It has two buttons. The square one at the front here, if you hold it in, then the ultraviolet light comes on first. Press it again and then you have the red light. Hold it in again and it turns those off. The triangular button at the back here, if you hold that one in, it brings on the main beam, and then you can up the power of that beam or light, and then hold in to turn it off. And it's amazingly bright for such a small torch. And it says that main light beam temperature is 6000 to 7000 K, cool white. And it has a range of 70 meters. And I've just put this one on charge and you can actually see a red light flashing inside to indicate that it is charging. And when it's fully charged, that one will go green. The waterproof rating is IP65, so you can actually use it in the rain without any problems. And it does say that it's impact resistant up to 2 meters. And the running time of the light is 18 hours on low, 3.2 hours on the middle beam, 88 minutes on high, and then 65 minutes on turbo. And you can see by the build that it's lovely quality. It's all screwed together, has a lovely feel about it, and that's the size in my hand. And like I say, I put my lanyard on mine and I actually drop it down the front of my shirt, and when it warms up I don't even know it's there until I need it. And on that one now you can see that it's flashing green, so it's fully charged. And it's really worth going on the Banggood listing for this torch. I think it might be on special offer at the moment. It was the last time I looked, and on the listing there's some really good details and photographs and a lot more than I've shown in this video about this torch.